Rune 4. The Fate of Aino. When the night had passed, the maiden, sister fair of Youkahainen, hastened early to the forest. Birchen shoots for brooms to gather, went to gather birchen tassels, bound the bundle for her father, bound the birch broom for her mother, silken tassels for her sister. Straightway then she hastened homeward, by a footpath left the forest. As she neared the woodland border, lo, the ancient Wainamoinen, quickly spying out the maiden as she left the birchen woodland, trimly dressing costly raiment, that the minstrel thus addressed her. Aino, beauty of the Northland, wear not, lovely maid, for others, only wear for me, sweet maiden, golden cross upon thy bosom, shining pearls upon thy shoulders, bind for me thine auburn tresses, wear for me thy golden braidlets. Thus the maiden quickly made answer, not for thee and not for others, hang I from my neck the crosslet, deck my hair with silken ribbons, need no more the many trinkets brought to me by ship or shallop. Sooner wear the simplest raiment, feed upon the barley bread crust, dwell forever with my mother in the cabin with my father. Then she threw the gold cross from her, tore the jewels from her fingers, quickly loosed her shining necklace, quick untied her silken ribbons, cast them all away indignant into forest ferns and flowers. Thereupon the maiden, Aino, hastened to her mother's cottage. At the window sat her father, whittling on an open axe scale. Wherefore weepest, beauteous Aino, Aino, my beloved daughter? Cause enough for weeping, father. Good the reasons for my mourning. This the reason for my weeping. This the cause of all my sorrow. From my breast I tore the crosslet, from my belt the clasp of copper, from my waist the belt of silver. Golden was my pretty crosslet. Near the doorway sat her brother, carving out a birchen ox tail. Why art weeping, lovely Aino, Aino, my devoted sister? Cause enough for weeping, brother. Good the reasons for my mourning. Therefore come I as thou seest. Rings no longer on my fingers, on my neck no pretty necklace. Golden were the rings thou gavest, and the necklace pearled and silver. On the threshold sat her sister, weaving her golden girdle. Why art weeping, beauteous Aino, Aino, my beloved sister? Cause enough for weeping, sister. Good the reasons for my sorrow. Therefore I come as thou seest. On my head no scarlet fillet, on my hair no braids of silver, on mine arms no purple ribbons, round my neck no shining necklace, on my breast no golden crosslet, in mine ears no golden earrings. Near the doorway of the dairy, skimming cream, sat Aino's mother. Why art weeping, lovely Aino, Aino, my devoted daughter? Thus the sobbing maiden answered, loving mother, all forgiving, cause enough this for my weeping, good the reasons for my sorrow. Therefore do I weep, dear mother. I have been within the forest, brooms to bind and shoots to gather, there to pluck some birchen tassels, bound a bundle for my father, bound a second for my mother, bound a third for my brother, for my sister's silken tassels. Straightway then I hastened homeward, by a footpath left the forest. As I reached the woodland border, spake Osmoinen from the cornfield. Spake the ancient Wainamoinen, wear not beauty's maiden for others, only wear for me, sweet maiden, on thy breast a golden crosslet, shining pearls upon thy shoulders, bind for me thy auburn tresses, weave for me thy silver braidlets. Now I threw the gold cross from me, tore the jewels from my fingers, quickly loosed my shining necklace, quickly untied my silken ribbons, cast them all away indignant, to forest ferns and flowers. Thus I addressed the singer, not for thee and not for others, hang I from my neck the crosslet, deck my hair with silken ribbons, need no more the many trinkets, brought to me by ship and shallop. Sooner wear the simplest raiment, feed upon the barley bread crust, dwell forever with my mother in the cabin with my father. Thus the gray-haired mother answered, Aino, her beloved daughter. Weep no more, my lovely maiden, waste no more of thy sweet young life. 1 year eat thou my sweet butter, it will make thee strong and ruddy. Eat another year fresh bacon, it will make thee tall and queenly. Eat a 3rd year only dainties, it will make thee fair and lovely. Now make haste to yonder hilltop, to the storehouse on the mountain. Open there the large compartment. Thou wilt find it filled with boxes, chests and cases, trunks and boxes. Open thou the box, the largest. Lift away the gaudy cover. I will find 6 golden girdles, 7 rainbow-tinted dresses, woven by the moon's fair daughters, fashioned by the sun's sweet virgins. In my young years, once I wandered as a maiden on the mountains. In the happy days of childhood, hunting berries in the Caucasus, there by chance I heard the daughters of the moon as they were weaving. There I also heard the daughters of the sun as they were spinning on the red rims of the cloudlets, over the blue edge of the forest, on the border of the pine wood, on a high and distant mountain. I approached them, drawing nearer, stole myself within their hearing. Then began I to entreat them, thus brought them, besought them, gently pleading, give thy silver, moon's fair dollars, to a poor but worthy maiden. Give thy gold, O sun's sweet virgins, to this maiden, young and needy. Thereupon the moon's fair daughters gave me silver from their coffers, and the sun's sweet shining virgins gave me gold from their abundance, gold to deck my throbbing temples, for my hair the shining silver. Then I hastened joyful homeward, richly laden with my treasures, happy to my mother's cottage, wore them one day, then the second, then the third day also wore them. Took the gold then from my temples, for my hair I took the silver, careful laid them in their boxes. Many seasons have they lain there. Here have not seen them since my childhood. Deck thy brow with silken ribbon, trim with gold thy throbbing temples, thy neck with pearly necklace. Hang the gold cross on thy bosom. Robe thyself in pure white linen, spun from flax or finest fiber. Wherewithal the richest short frock. Haste fasten it with golden girdle. On thy feet put silken stockings, with the shoes of finest leather. Deck thy hair with golden braidlets, bind it well with threads of silver. Trim with rings thy fairy fingers, and thy hands with dainty ruffles. Come, be decked then to thy chamber. Thus return this to thy household, to the greeting of thy kindred, the joy of all that know thee. Flush thy cheeks as ruddy berries, coming as thy father's sunbeam, walking beautiful and queenly, far more beautiful than moonlight. Thus she spake to weeping Ino, thus the mother to her daughter. But the maiden, little bearing, does not heed her mother's wishes. Straightway hastens to the courtyard, there to weep in bitter sorrow, all alone to weep in anguish, waiting long the wailing Ino. Thus at last soliloquizes. Unto what can I now liken happy homes and the joys of fortune, like the waters in the river, like the waves in yonder lakelet, like the crystal waters flowing? Unto what the biting sorrow of the child of cold misfortune, like the spirit of the sea duck, like the icicle in winter. Water in the well in prison often roamed my mind in childhood, when a maiden free and merry, happily through fen and fallow, gambolled on the meads with lambkins, lingered with the ferns and flowers, knowing neither pain nor trouble. Now my mind is filled with sorrow, wanders through the bog and stubble, wanders weary through the brambles, roams throughout the dismal forest, till my life is filled with darkness, and my spirit white with anguish. Better had it been for Ino had she never seen the sunlight, or if born had died an infant, had not lived to be a maiden, in these days of sin and sorrow, underneath a star so luckless. Better had it been for Ino had she died upon the 8th day, after 7 nights had vanished, needed then but little linen, needed but a little coffin, and a grave of smallest measure. Mother would have mourned a little, father too, perhaps a trifle. Sister would have wept the day through. Brother might have shed a teardrop. Thus had ended all the mourning. Thus poor Ino wept and murmured, wept one day and then the second, wept a third, mournful evening. When again her mother asked her, Why this weeping, fairest daughter, darling daughter, why this grieving? Thus the tearful maiden answered, Therefore do I weep in sorrow, wretched maiden, all my life long, since poor Ino thou hast given, since thy daughter thou hast promised to the age of Wainamoinen, comfort to his years declining, prop to stay him when he totters, in the storm a roof above him, in his home a cloak around him. Better far if thou hast sent me, far below the salt sea surges, to become the whiting sister, the friend of Perch and Salmon. Better far to ride billows, swim the sea foam as a mermaid, and the friend of nimble fishes. Then to be an old man's solace, prop to save him when he totters, hand to aid him when he trembles, arm to guide him when he falters, strength to give him when he weakens, better to be Whiting's sister, and the friend of Perching Salmon, than an old man's slave and darling. Ending thus she left her mother, straightway hastened to the mountain, to the storehouse on the summit, opened there the box the largest, from the box 6 the lids she lifted, found therein 6 golden girdles, 6 silken dressings, 7 in number. Choosing such as pleased her fancy, she adorned herself as bidden, robed herself to look her fairest, gold upon her throbbing temples, in her hair the shining silver, on her shoulders purple ribbons. Band the blue around her forehead, golden cross and rings and jewels, fitting ornaments to beauty. Now she leaves her many treasure, leaves the storehouse on the mountain, filled with gold and silver trinkets. Wanders over field and meadow, over stone fields waste and barren, wanders on through fen and forest, through the forest vast and cheerless, wanders hither, wanders thither, singing careless as she wanders, this her mournful song and echo. Woe is me, my life hard fated, woe to Ino, broken hearted. Torture racks my heart and temple, yet the sting would not be deeper, nor the pain and anguish greater. Beneath this weight of sorrow and my saddened heart's dejection, I should yield my life forever. Now unhappy, I should perish. Lo, the time is come for Ino, from this cruel world to hasten to the kingdom of Puni, to the realm of the departed, to the isle of the hereafter. Weep no more for me, O father, mother dear, withhold thy censure. Lovely sister, dry thine eyelids. Do not mourn me, dearest brother, when I sink beneath the sea foam. Make my home in salmon grottos, make my bed in crystal waters. Water ferns my couch and pillow. All day long poor Ino wandered, all the next day sad and weary. So the third from morn till evening, till the cruel night enwrapped her. She reached the sandy margin, reached the cold and dismal seashore, sat upon the rock of sorrow, sat alone in cold and darkness, listened only to the music of the wind and rolling billows, singing all the dirge of Ino. All that night the weary maiden wept and wandered on the boardwalk, through the sand and sea-washed pebbles. As the day dawns, looking round her, she beholds 3 water maidens on a headland jutting seaward. Water maidens, 4 in number, sitting on the wave-lashed ledges, swimming now upon the billows, now upon the rocks reposing. Quick the weeping maiden Ino hastens there to join the mermaids, fairy maidens of the waters. Weeping Ino, now disrobing, lays aside with care her garments, hangs her silk robes on the alders, drops her gold cross on the seashore, on the aspen hangs her ribbons, on the rocks her silken stockings, on the grass her shoes of deer skin, in the sand her shining necklace, with her rings and other jewels. Out at sea, a goodly distance, stood a rock of rainbow colors, glittering in silver sunlight. Toward it springs the hapless maiden, thither swims the lovely Ino. Up the standing stone has clambered, wishing there to rest a moment, rest upon the rock of beauty, whereupon the sudden swaying to and fro among the billows, with a crash and roar of waters, falls a stone of many colors, falls upon the very bottom of the deep and boundless blue sea.